All right.
First of all, I just want to let everybody know this is a first for me. I'm not a type to stand in front of people, but praise God because I feel I'm being called to do this for you guys. Because this is some great information that we have that I've actually been privileged to learn these secrets to wealth. What's been going on for a while now, since the Constitution actually. There's some secrets that's only meant for wealthy people that a lot of us are not privileged to know of. And we have actually have come across some people, my own mentor, by the name of Mr. Chadwick Robinson, who's actually here with us. He's been listening to everything, and he's out in Houston, Texas right now. And he's my mentor, and he's the one that's been teaching me everything I know, and I want to share it with you guys, and also want to introduce you to him. First of all, how many people in here are working like a job, a regular 9 to 5 job? Just one person? Everybody else is like set income? Okay, that's good to know. Let me set this up real quick because I have someone here. Just want to make sure everything's right, working on the technical side.
I'll be here to explain the CPNs, which is also the secondary credit number. Here probably shortly after all this information.
We can probably go into that. If anyone had any questions about the CPN, as far as the secondary
yes, sir.
Credit profile.
What's the process?
Pretty much with the credit profile number, secondary credit number. The law allows each and every person in this room to have up to 5 unique numbers for a lifetime. That includes your social security number and then the secondary credit number that Pastor had actually explained about. Now, the way that works, you give me your information. It will be your first name, your first and last name. You have to use an address that's not currently connected to your like current profile. So you can use a bank address if you ever have like anything not with their address. You can use that address. You also have to do the same thing with a phone number. So a phone number and an address that's never been connected to your current profile number. Because your current social number. Because if that happens, they'll merge and then it'll be messed up. So we actually create a whole other profile for you. It takes about 72 hours to create, but you'll have a whole new profile. Like you'll have a new yearly income, how much money in your checking, and so on. Personal loans, yada yada. You can do the only thing that you cannot do with the CPN is anything like when you go get a job, apply for a job, you can't use it for that or anything IRS related. Everything else is a go though. I'm sorry.
What about your file?
No, ma'am. It has to be an actual address. Now, what you can use is like forwarding addresses, like pack mail. A lot of people use those. It's probably about $7 a month. You can use that all day. A lot of people just use your friend's address. Like when me and Ramon first started out, I used his address, he used mine. You know, we got Capital One cards within like, I think, what was about
5-7 days.
5 to 7 days after that, got Capital One cards. Our actual CPN is like anywhere from $650 and above now. Because we've been having it for a couple months now. We've been playing around here and see what works and see what doesn't work. Yes.
Me?
Did you have a question?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so somebody, she can call you and use my name and get a whole number and stuff?
No.
And go,
No.
No, I'm saying, so how you gonna know?
It's best for you to explain the program.
How you gonna keep somebody from using me if all we gotta do is call and give you another?
Well,
You understand what I'm saying? From how are we protected against fraud if I can use some
your information is all hooked to that new address that you gave me. That new address, that new phone number, that new email, that's all hooked to you. You're gonna have a whole profile with that new address.
Okay,
that new everything. That's just you.
Your name and your date of birth is the same. We don't change that.
You don't change any of that.
It's just your address and your date of birth. The reason being is the purpose of it is to rebuild your credit.
Okay,
And the fact that you're getting a second chance, it's two separate profiles. And the reason why we have a different address and a different phone number and email is because if you use any of that, it'll merge. Have you ever filled out an application that asks you questions? Hey, have you ever lived at this which address did you live? They know all that information, the address. So if you use your address, it's going to merge with your primary and defeats the purpose of us filling you a second chance to help your primary.
okay, I understand that part, but I'm saying because somebody else what I'm saying is, if I call and say I'm Myra Nolan, and I have my name and her birthday, and give you a different name, and use her information.
It won't affect her primary unless and it'll just be another account.
If it's me, if somebody's doing that to me, then they may, charge up everything and.
Well, yeah, that's illegal.
That's like with your credit, your current credit profile.
Anybody can do the same thing to your current. That's called identity theft. If someone else is doing it, there's really
It
no.
seems like that makes it even easier for somebody.
No, but they have to pay for that.
That's all I'm asking. How do you? Because it seems like you're inviting identity theft. It's like, okay, yeah, somebody help.
I do have two separate profiles.
It seems like you're making it too easy for somebody to.
Well, no, it's easier for someone to steal your primary information if you leave it around, but to come to us, they have to pay for our service. To pay for that actual someone to make another profile for you and generate another number.
How do you access to their profile?
Yeah, there's no one that's gonna probably come to us to steal it and pay for it.
Yeah.
So once you get that information, do you record it or do you keep it or?
We don't keep any information, it's yours.
Yeah, that's your information. We generate it and it's forwarded to you with instructions on how to go and apply for whatever it's going to generate. Like he said, you need at least 3 trade lines. We give you places that's going to approve you with just a bare minimal, like no credit at all, like Fresh Baby. We know the institutions that approve you and get a trade line going, like he said, 3 of them, and then you have to generate a score, a nice fresh score, and then it's your responsibility to
Change your number.
to protect it and also pay what you use. Like if you leave, the problem that we have is people getting their Capital One cards, $300 limit. It's not secured, it's unsecured. So that you have $300 coming in the mail and they take that $300 and go shopping and leave that debt on. Now that's illegal. That you can't just leave the debt on the table. You're still responsible for it. That's the only thing that we're worried about for someone that comes to us and does that. We want people to come, we want to help them build their credit, give them knowledge, and as we're going to go into on how to make more money, more income, and erase debt in the first place. The debt is the enemy here.
How about let's listen to the presentation first, that you can, all these questions should be answered after you present.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, that's fine. We're leading into
Well, these
something
are two
new.
separate. This is a separate.
We're about to go into something, then we're going to go into income and how to use your money when you have it.
Okay, so this CP numbers, it's not like an EIN number.
Yes, it's pretty much like it, but it's for personal. It's not.
Yeah.
It's like a business,
It's a business
tax ID. That's all it is, but it's for personal. You have two separate, like right now, I have a business and my personal, and I also have the CPN. So I have 3 different profiles right now. I have my CPN profile totally separate from everything. I got my regular social, then when I was born, I got my social like everybody else. My other profile, then I got my business tax ID. Motivated individual, I like to do different things, so I like to make it happen. Yes, sir. I'm sorry?
Cost associated.
It's $150 one time for the CPN. All right, any other questions before we start the video here?
Actually, I'm going to introduce him to Mr. Robinson.
Mr. Robinson? Okay, great. There you go.
Okay. Let me make sure everything's good.
Thank you.
Okay. Can you hear me? Mr. Robinson, you there?
Can you hear me, Mr. Dawkins?
Okay, I might not be able to hear you. 1 second.
Can you hear me? 1 2 1 2. Can you hear me?
Now I hear you loud and clear, loud and clear, loud and clear.
Good.
Okay, yes, this is my mentor. Been in the entrepreneurial business for about 10 years, multiple projects with a couple millionaires. This is the man, my mentor, who's been giving me all my secrets, as I said earlier. I'd like to introduce you to him. You see him live and clear. This is awesome. From Houston, Texas. How you doing today, Mr. Robson?
Oh, I'm doing amazing. How's everybody doing out there?
They all say great. You heard him.
Can y'all hear me loud and clear out there?
Loud.
Yeah.
Okay, do me a favor, Mr. Ramon. I think you turned the lights off. Can you turn those lights back on? Because I definitely want to see who I'm speaking with. I see some people in there that I definitely want to share some powerful information. Do me a favor, ladies and gentlemen. If you can hear me loud and clear, do me a favor, guys. Please come to the front. I want you guys close, up front and close, so I can speak to you guys and kind of see who I'm talking with. I see some people in the front. If you guys that's in the back, if you can move a little closer to the front, that would be great, please, so I can cover some information with you guys. And if you have any questions or concerns, I can hear you a lot better when you're closer to the front. So we can kind of just gather an eyes, guys. I know you've been worshiping. You know, you've been praising the Lord all day. I know y'all probably hungry, ready to get some chicken, ready to go home. We're not going to take up too much of your time, but if you can kind of move up closer to the front, guys, come on up. I'm not going to bite you. Come on up to the front. There we go. Come on up to the front. There we go. Come on up, y'all. And that way, if you have any questions and stuff, I can definitely ask you those questions, answer those questions. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate you for moving up. I know you're probably comfortable, got your seats nice and warm, but it works a lot better for me if I can just get everybody in one little section and kind of see who all I'm speaking with. So thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone, for moving up. I definitely appreciate that. Let everybody get in. And Mr. Ramon, everyone signed in, and everybody's filled out their sign-in sheet.
I believe so. Is the board still going around? That's right here.
Good. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for moving to the front. We definitely appreciate you guys for coming out. And like I said, I know you've been at church and I know you've been serving and worshiping the Lord today. So we're definitely, going to get you guys out here as soon as possible. But I definitely want to share some information with you guys that really changed the course of my financial future. And it's very important for me, to share as much as I can this information that I learned because, I grew up, with a single, from a single household, single mother household, 7 of us, 5 boys and 2 girls, mother with no father. So I've been through it all, guys. I'm the youngest of them all, so I had tons of hand-me-downs and everything you can think of, guys. So there's no difference between you and I. The only difference that I had in my life was good influences. I found my way around some very, very successful people, and they taught me some things later on in my life that really repositioned me to where I'm at today. And I want to share that with you guys as well too, because it's very, very important that we pass this information down to the youth. We have to get this information not only for ourselves, because God said you should be able to live life abundantly, but most importantly, we want to be able to pass it down to generations to come, right? So we're going to cover a couple things here, and I think you guys should have the worksheet available. If you have the worksheet, if you've been handed a worksheet, at the top it says a strategy session guide. Go ahead and pull that sheet out. Hopefully everyone has pens. If you don't have a pen and your neighbor has a pen, definitely you guys can share a pen. So you can get the information down, because we definitely want you to be able to take this information home and kind of view it, okay? So if you're looking at the sheet, you'll see 3 numbers and 3 circles, right? 2, 4, and 3. Okay, 2, 4, and 3. So we kind of break this down very simple for you guys. 2, 4, and 3 is what we're going to cover, okay? Now, we're going to fill in the blanks as I go, and I'll kind of break this thing down to you guys on what do we mean by the 2, 4, and 3 and how this plays a role in your financial future. But before we cover the worksheet, I want you guys to understand that, it's very, very important to increase your financial IQ. I want you to understand this. This is one of the key things that I've learned from a gentleman by the name of Mr. Brian Bean, African-American male out of Atlanta, Georgia. He made his first $1 million at the age of 21. Now, not only did he make his first $1 million at the age of 21, but see, he lost it, and then he got it back. So the most valuable thing that he could have did was lose it, because it taught him, It's not how much money you make, it's what you do with the money that you do make. See, rich people, it's a difference between rich people and wealthy people. Okay, rich people can always go back to being broke. Okay, you see some of the athletes out here, famous football players, famous basketball players, famous musicians, they get rich, and then you see them 10, 15 years down the line, 20 years down the line, they're back broke. See, the goal is to be wealthy. You want to create wealth for generations. See, wealthy people, they never go broke. And there's some secrets on how to actually do that I'm going to cover with you guys on this worksheet, okay? Very, very important to know that. Now, on the worksheet, the first thing I'm going to have you fill out is number 2. Number 2 stands for 2 objectives. 2 objectives, okay? So go ahead and write objectives in that line, okay? 2 objectives, okay? 2 objectives. Now, what are the objectives? A, see, your current lifestyle is paid for by your labor, okay? So you would put labor in your first line right there. Your current lifestyle is paid for by your labor. Who would agree with that? How many people do we have there who's worked a job and that is the way you paid for your current lifestyle, correct?
Yes.
Through your labor. There we go. Now, here's the deal, guys. Here's the misconception. This is what people don't understand. This is what, we as an African American community, we never really understood. No one ever really taught us these things. See, for B, guys, see, your future lifestyle should be paid for by your investments. By your investments, okay? So you're going to type investment into that section right there. By your investments, okay? I'm going to give you a second to go ahead and put that down. Okay, by your investments. Now, what do we mean by investments? See, investing, guys, and I'm going to cover this with you guys, but investing is the key to wealth. Most people never understand the power of investing because no one ever taught investing. You see, it's very, very important. See, when we start talking about investing, guys, that's when your money is making money. See, when you look at America, and we all say, hey, we live in a beautiful place. America is one of the best places on the face of the earth. But you have to understand how America was birthed. You have to understand how the system was set up, okay? Wealthy people who had all the money and the power created the government. See, there were wealthy people before there were the government. And the wealthy people came together and said, hey, we need to create order. We need to have order. We need to have order because we don't want chaos. We're wealthy and we have tons of people who's poor. And we need to be able to create some type of order. That way this country can flourish and still be, streamlined. That's where the government came in, okay? But see, the wealthy people said, hey, we're going to capitalize off of people's lack of knowledge of understanding how the system works that we've set up. See, so wealthy people said, hey, we're going to put together something called taxes. Now, we're going to employ people and have them work, but we're going to take taxes from them. So we'll give them jobs, but we're going to take taxes from them, and the taxes from their labor will make us rich. You see, that's how capitalism works. We want you to make sure that you understand. If you don't understand anything, that I'm going to share with you today, understand the word capitalism, because the reality is you are being capitalized off of your lack of knowledge or understanding how a couple of things works, guys, okay? So in the bottom, right under B, under your future lifestyle is investment, guys, where those 2 blanks are, you're going to write in 401ks, pension plans, and Social Security no longer works, okay? So that's what you write in that box right there, and I'm going to explain that with you guys. 401ks and Social Security no longer work. So if you have right now, does not work. Guys, look at the history. Okay, there are people who've worked all of their lives for a 401k and the 401k was completely snatched from them. There are people who, when the retirement age was 55, that were supposed to get Social Security. When the government started realizing that people started living beyond the ages of 55, they started having longer lives. What did they do to the retirement age? They raised it up to 65. Why did that happen? Why did the government do that? because the plan is not really for you to be successful. The plan is strategically put in place to just create order, to make sure that chaos does not happen. You see, it's not really meant for you to have a successful retirement. What the government is saying is, due to your lack of understanding how to actually take care of your own finances and secure your own retirement, we're going to put a system in play that will say, hey, when you're, too old to work, we're going to provide a check for you, a 401k plan. But at the end of the day, the 401k will not be sustainable because there are 4 challenges, okay? So where you see the number 4, you're going to type in challenges. 4 challenges. 4 challenges. Now, what are the 4 challenges? We're going to go over those challenges. The first challenge is inflation. So go ahead and write in inflation. Inflation. What is inflation? Inflation means the cost of living continues to go up and the value of the dollar continues to go down. What do I mean by that? Well, I'll give you an example. I was talking to my brother, and he says that, he's making about $100,000 a year. But he worked really hard to get to $100,000. 15 years ago, he started off with a pay of about $50,000. So over the last 15 years, his income has gone from $50,000 to $100,000, right? But he can't understand why he's still struggling. See, it's because of inflation. See, it took him 15 years to go from 50,000 to 100,000, but here's the deal. Inflation tripled over the last 15 years. So even though on paper he's making $100,000, he's still really only making $50,000 because of inflation. See, the cost of living will continue to go up because of inflation, because that's the way that rich people continue to stay rich and the poor continue to stay poor. So if you continue to work for a living without owning a business, they're just going to continue to take, right? Number B is taxes. I'm sure you've been hearing about taxes throughout, hearing some of the people talk about taxes. Taxes is very, very important. People have to understand how taxes work. Guys, the tax system is set up to where it benefits people who own their own business. If you have your own business, you get what you call tax deductions, tax breaks. If you don't own a business and you're working what we call a W-2, you're working a job, you have no tax breaks. So for example, I'll use my brother for an example. He made $100,000 this year, right? Last year he made $100,000. But guess what? He only took home $65,000. Why? Because of taxes. See, when you don't own a business, you pay 28 to 33% of taxes, and I'm going to cover that down there at the bottom. But it's very, very important for people to understand how taxes affect you, okay? Number C is debt. Debt, okay? And I want you to know that B, C, and D, guys, where you see it takes 1/3 of your income, these things take your income from you. So taxes take 1/3 of your income. Debt takes 1/3 of your income, which is C, okay? And let's think about debt, guys. If you have debt, guys, raise your hand if you have debt. Who has debt? Who has a car note? Who has a house note? Who has some credit card? Look around there, guys. Debt. See, we want you to understand how banks work. When you start talking about debt, guys, it's so amazing to see. Who has a bank account? If you have a bank account, raise your hand. You have a bank account, raise your hand. You have a bank account, right? That means you put money in the bank, right? Now here's the deal. Watch this. What does the bank do with your money when you put your monny in the bank?
Oh, it's out.
Oh, say it again. Tell out.
Loan it out.
They loan it out.
Exactly. See, people have to understand there's 2 lines at the bank. See, you have one line, which is the people bringing the money in and dropping the money off, and then another line that's coming to borrow money from the bank. So let's say, for instance, you go to the bank and you worked hard, you got a $2,000 check, you put it in the bank. Well, what the bank what they do is take your $2,000 and somebody else walks in the bank and say, hey, I need $2,000 as a loan to get a car. And they say, no problem. I'll give you the person's money who just came in and dropped off $2,000. I'll give you their money so you can get the car. But guess what? I got to charge you for it. So they attach what? They attach some interest, right? See, people think that banks have money. The bank has no money. If everyone right now goes to the bank and pull their money out of Bank of America, what would happen to Bank of America?
Collapse.
It'll collapse. Why? Because they don't have money. They have our money. And they capitalize off of the fact that we don't know what to do with our own money. You see? So what they do is when you take $2,000 or you take 500 or whatever it is you put in the bank, they take your money and loan it out or invest your money, and they become wealthy off of your money. Now the question is, how long have you been putting money in the bank? See, when you look at it like that, you really start to understand how you are being capitalized off of. Because some of us been putting money in the bank for 30, 40, 50 years. And how much money has the bank made off of you? And how much did they give you? See, the bank's job is to create debt. The banks survive off of debt. That is how they make their money, off of debt, right? That's why the bank will say, hey, come get a credit card from us, right? If you keep putting money in the bank, they'll send you an opportunity to get a credit card from them. Why? Because they want you to use the credit card. Why? To create debt. Because that's how they make money. So debt robs you of your fortune, guys. Okay. Now D is big business. Big business. Now, I'm going to talk to you guys about big business, but I want a little participation on this so we can all understand how big business also takes 1/3 of your income. See, not only do you have inflation, not only do you have taxes, not only do you have debt, but don't forget about big business, guys. Big business is designed every single month to take some of your income away from you. And I'll prove it to you today with a little participation. January 1st is what, guys?
New Year.
In
New
February, in February, what do you have?
Valentine's
Valentine's Day.
March.
Spring.
What's March? St. Patrick's Day.
April. What about in April?
Easter.
Everybody knows.
That's
Easter.
April.
May.
What about June?
Mother's Day.
What about July?
Father's Day.
Yeah, Father's Day is June. Yeah.
What about August?
Back to school.
Back to school.
Back to school, right?
Yeah.
September, Labor
I
Day.
love doing this because it really exposes people, you know, when you really start to see how big business plays a factor. So you go back to school in August, right? What about May?
Mother's Day.
Mother's Day. And Memorial Day.
What about September?
Labor Day.
Labor Day.
Labor Day. So
What about October?
Halloween.
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 What about November?
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving.
What about December?
Christmas and New Year's again. New Year's Eve, actually.
So no matter what people, see, there are countless. See, what would happen, fellas, if February came around and you didn't have a gift for your woman? What would happen in December when all the kids are watching Santa Claus on TV and there's no presents under the tree?
Yeah.
And remember, guys, we're not talking about proms. We're not talking about graduations. We're not talking about birthdays, all in between there. We're not talking about my favorite, guys, which is Black Friday, right? We're not talking about Black Friday when people go out and spend money that they don't even have to spend, but they do it because it's Black Friday. See, so big business is strategic, guys. The people at the top are strategically capitalizing off your lack of understanding how money works. Very, very important. Okay, so we're going to cover number 3. 3 is the 3 solutions. 3 solutions, okay? 3 solutions. What are the 3 solutions? Number 1, we're going to start off with the W-2. We have something called the 369. If you look at the 3 columns that's at the bottom of the sheet, you'll see W-2. It says 3 months, 1099, 6 months, investor 9 months. That stands for what we call the 369, which we pretty much show you within 3 months how to free up some cash. Within less than 6 months, as a business owner, we show you, how to actually produce some business income. And within 9 months, we show you how to invest. And I'm going to cover that with you guys really quickly here. But as a W-2, the first thing that we want you to understand is if you have a job that you're taxed at 28 to 33%. So go ahead and write that in there. 28 to 33%. So we want you to think about the income you make. And let's say, if you're on some type of disability, I want you to think about your family, because we want you to understand this. Very, very important. I want you guys to remember this. You can count how many seeds are in an apple, but you can never count how many apples are in a seed. What do I mean by that? I might be speaking to you as an individual, but you are a seed. You see, your family are all the apples. So the information that I'm providing for you is not only for you, it's for your kids, it's for your nieces, your nephews, your brothers, your sisters, your cousins, your aunties. It's very important to understand this, right? So if you work a W-2, you're paying 28, 33%. Now, the first objective, guys, remember, you have to lower your taxes, right? So let's go over to the 1099, the second column. If you own a business, that means you're going to be taxed at anywhere from 18 to 23%. 18 to 23%. So if you had an option to pay 28 to 33%, or to pay between 18 and 23, which one would you choose?
18 to 23.
18 to 23.
Right? You would absolutely choose that. But the question is, are you willing to do what it takes to do that? Because, see, that's what wealthy people understand. They understand how the numbers work, and they make decisions based off the formula on how to get wealthy. See, wealthy is not, some people like to call it different things, right? Some people call it a miracle. Some people call it luck. Some people call it magic. Some people call it faith. Some people call it destiny. But the reality is, no matter what you call it, it is a formula that takes place for people who live life abundantly, right? And we're going to teach you the formula. Now, when you slide over to the investor quadrant, the investor tab, guys, you'll pay as less than 15%, tax at less than 15%. Okay? Tax at less than 15%. Now, I want to give you something. I want you to write this down somewhere on your sheet, whether it's at the back of the sheet or not, or wherever you want to write it. But I want you to write this down because I want you to be able to look at it. I want you to write this. Labor that makes money. Labor that makes money. Labor that makes money is taxed more. Labor that makes money is taxed more than money that makes money. Labor that makes money is taxed more than money that makes money. Somebody repeat that. Let me make sure somebody have it in the room.
Labor that makes money is taxed more than money that makes money.
Okay, good, good. Now pass the microphone to him. Let me ask him a quick question. Now, reading that statement right there, what does that statement mean for you?
Well, that statement basically means that investment is taxed lower than wages from labor.
Say it one more time for me.
Investment income is taxed at a lower rate than income from labor, from working.
Right. So what that statement is saying, and I asked that, guys, because I really want you to understand what you wrote. What that statement says is, for everyone who works for a living to make money, they will always pay more than taxes. They will always pay more in taxes than someone who already has money and they invest their money and make their money work for them. You see? So when you look at that statement, doesn't that sound about right when you understand that this beautiful America we live in is based off of capitalism and wealthy people created the government? Wouldn't that make sense? If you were wealthy and you were capitalizing off of people who was not wealthy, wouldn't that make sense if you had $100 million to say, hey, we're going to charge the people who's working for a living more taxes than the people, than money that's making money? Because we don't have to work, right? Wealthy people, they say, hey, we don't have to work. We have money. So we'll just invest money and have our money work for us, so we pay less in taxes. Meanwhile, 87% of America, they have to go to work. And because they're working, we'll tax them more. So you have to understand that formula, guys. So what does that tell you? If you want to pay less in taxes, that means you need to do what?
Work for yourself
Work for yourself.
or either invest.
Invest.
Oh,
It is as simple as that, guys. It is as simple as that, because no matter how hard you work, they're going to continue to take. So my brother, he worked his way up from 50 to 100,000. Let's be honest. How many people do you think realistically is going to start at a job at 50,000 and in 15 years, increase to 100,000? How many? Does that sound like the average American will ever do that?
No.
No.
Nope.
Absolutely not. So if he's an exception, and even though he's an exception, he's still broke. So even if you were to do it, the system is designed to keep you stagnated, because guess what? He's making more, so they're taking more. See, he made 100,000, he made 50,000, they took 33%. He's making 100,000, they taking 33%. Make sense?
Yes.
Then not only that, but guess what? When you hit $100,000, you're in a different tax bracket as well too. See, so they have it set up to where you cannot achieve wealth working a job. You just cannot do it. It's not in the cards. It's designed that way. You have to step out, and say, you know what? I'm a step out and do more to get the results that I really want, right? So let's look a little bit down the sheet. So I want to kind of show you the formula of how this actually works from the W-2 to the 1099 to the investor. Now, as a W-2, on the W-2 column, this is how it works. I want you to fill in these blanks right here. It says, I work, okay? I work, flip your sheets back over. I work, I'm taxed, and I spend. That's what you're going to put under the W-2, where you see the 3 I's. The first one is I work, I'm taxed, I spend. Okay? Right below that, you could put poor cash flow, and then management is there. Poor cash flow management. Okay? I work, I'm taxed, I spend. That means you get up, you go to work, right? They give you a check. When you get the check, what's taken out of the check? Tax, right? So you're taxed before you even get your money, right?
yeah.
Right.
And then once you then after you're already taxed, then you spend, right? That's the philosophy that will keep you poor. That is the philosophy that will keep your brothers, your nieces, your nephews, your kids, your daughter. That philosophy will keep you poor, because the government is taking from you before you can even decide what to do with your money. Okay? Now slide over to the 1099. See, the 1099 is for people who have their own home-based business. Your own home-based business, okay? And we're going to talk to you guys a little bit about that. These are people who say, you know what, I might still have a job, but I went out and I got me a home-based business so I can get some of the tax deductions, right? The philosophy with a business owner, it says, my biz works, right? Fill in the blank. My business works. My business spends. And then my business is taxed. See, it's not you. See, you have a business now. So you're saying, listen, my business works, then my business spends, and then my business is taxed. So that means you're paying taxes on the back end. What's the difference between paying it on the front end and on the back end? Let me give you an example. My brother, I keep using my brother for an example so I can kind of really pierce through you guys' mind to get a clear understanding of what I'm saying here. He makes $100,000 a year. Every single month they're taking $2,000 out in taxes, every single month. That $2,000 that they take from him, he never sees it again until a year later when they give him what you call a tax refund. And when they give him a tax refund, what they do is they look at all the money they took from him and say, man, we've taken over, $30-something thousand from him. Oh, we'll go and give him a refund of $5,000. See? So the question is, if they take $35,000 from you and give you a return of $5,000, that means you lost how much? $30,000, right?
Right.
Where did the money go? Did you have an opportunity to take that money and to invest that money or to do something else to make that money flip into more money?
No.
You see? So let's say, for instance, my brother, he opens a business, which he has done. He's opened his business. Now he's able to say, I have a home-based business. So when he goes back to his job, he's able to adjust his W-4 form and now the government releases those funds to him. So now he gets his money up front, right? So now, versus them taking $30,000 away from him for the year, he's getting all of that money back. And then at the end of the year, they say, hey, you made $100,000. And he say, yes, but you can't tax me 33% of $100,000 because I own a business. So let me give you my business expenses first before you tax me. You see, let me deduct from the 100,000. So you're not going to get 33% of 100,000 because I own a business, a home-based business at that, guys. I want to stress that, a home-based business. Why did I say a home-based business? Because see, when you have a home-based business, you can write off your lifestyle that's in your home. So your lights, your utilities, your mortgage, your rent. If you have kids under the age of 18, you can pay your kids up to $6,100 a year and completely write it off. Your gas mileage for the year, every gallon you can write off 56 cents per mile. So the difference now is my brother goes from making 100,000 and them taxing 100,000 at 33% to saying, hey, hold on, I opened up a home-based business. Here are all of my expenses. I need you to do deductions first before you tax me. So now when he does his deductions, he might have $20,000 in business expenses. So now what they're going to say is you made 100,000, but we're going to subtract 20,000 in business deductions. So now we're only going to tax 80,000 versus taxing 100,000. You see? So you can clearly tell just by the tax bracket, understanding how that works and opening up a business, how he saved himself thousands of dollars just in taxes. But not only did he save himself thousands of dollars in taxes, but remember, he got all his money up front too. So the entire year, he was able to take that extra $2,000 a month, and he was able to start doing what? Pay off debt. See, most of us, I want you to understand this. Flip your sheet over on the backside. I'm going to give you guys another nugget to take home. Okay? You have two things, okay? You have income and you have cash flow. This is something that very, very wealthy people understand. I had a gentleman by the name of Mr. Ivy Stokes share this concept with me, an African-American country boy raised in the church. He's made over $600 million. When he taught me this, my eyes opened up. He said, listen, you have income and you have cash flow. Two different things, guys. See, you don't have an income problem. You have a cash flow problem. Let me explain. Most people, let's say, you ever known someone who had a car note and they were late paying the car note? Anybody's ever known somebody that had a car note and was late paying the car note, right? Let's say the car note was due on the 5th. Well, they had the income, they just didn't have it wasn't free at the moment to pay it. So they had the income, it was due on the 5th, but they paid it on the 10th, right? Was that an income problem or a cash flow problem? It's a cash flow problem, not an income problem. Because see, you had the income. But the only reason you don't have the income is because the government is taking it from you every single month out of your paychecks. You see? If the government wasn't taking $500 a month in taxes from your job, if you weren't getting $250 taken from you every single month out of your checks, right? You would have that income, you would have that cash flow to pay it on time. But since you don't have the cash flow, you have the income, because it's going to come in on the next cycle. You have the income to pay for it. You just don't have it on time. That's what you call when you have negative cash flow. So we want you guys to understand, listen, we have to get you guys with positive cash flow. To create wealth, you got to have positive cash flow. And the only way to do that is to eliminate debt. And we show everyone how to actually eliminate debt. Okay? Very, very important. So when you open up a business, let's go to the 1099, guys. 1099 column where it says 6 months. Right below that, where it says your biz works, your business spends, and your business is taxed, right below that in that column, you're going to type in biz income, business income. See, we have to get to the point to where we start understanding, listen, you can never create wealth until you own a piece of America, guys. You have to participate the same way wealthy people do. Wealthy people understand you have to get to the point to where you're willing to stimulate the economy. That's how you get all the benefits. Business income. So what do we mean by business income? We teach people through financial literacy how to actually start to bring in an extra $1,000 a month and then $1,000 a week. Now raise your hand if $1,000 a week would do you some justice.
Amen.
$1,000 a week would do you some justice?
Yep. Amen.
Well, this is what we show people here. The first thing is, guys, you have to be smart enough to open your own home-based business, okay? Right below that, guys, where it says A, write off your lifestyle, okay? Write off your lifestyle. That goes back to the example that I showed you guys, and we actually give trainings on this, guys, and we have some software that's absolutely amazing. Maybe when I'm done, you can show them a quick 2-3 minute video to show them how the software works. Very, very important, guys, okay? Write off your lifestyle. Those are what we're going to be teaching you so you can save on your taxes, okay? Now, right below that on the B column, guys, okay, we're going to teach you how to earn, okay? Where it says earn, you're going to earn $25, anywhere from $25 to $50. I think that column says that on there, 2 blanks on there. $25 to $50, okay, per family member or per friend or, you know, per person that you show this concept to and help, okay? And then not only that, guys, but for plan C, we're going to show you how to make $1,000 for every 7 people that you help or introduce this concept to. Okay, so we have a big goal, guys. We're going to be working. I'm working with an organization throughout the country. This is the first time that I'm actually working with a select group out here in Indianapolis, Ramon Dawkins and Ezekiel Moore, and I'm so honored to be working with the pastor. And I'm working with some other pastors in some different cities and states with this concept because we want to actually impact the churches, guys. We want to help people because, see, when you go to churches, it's, man, when you're sitting around people who worship the Lord faithfully and truly want to live abundantly, man, it's like you really want to do something to help the people, you know? It's like you want to really help the people. So I'm so grateful that the pastor actually brought, you know, this to his church to show some people some of this information so we can continue to help people. But we have a goal, guys. We want to actually eliminate $100 million in debt flowing through the churches, guys. And it's going to start with small pockets like this, with people like you that's going to share with other people, okay, as we move forward. But it's very, very important. Now, let's slide over, guys, to the investor quadrant, to the investor side, and I'm going to get you guys out of here. But right below tax at 15%, you're going to put in my money works, right? You have a money sign right there, and you should put works. Your money works, right? Your money is reinvested, right? So you can put your money is reinvested, meaning you invest, right? And then your money makes more money, right? See, that's the true secret, guys, and I'm going to cover that with you guys, but that's what you call investment income. So below that, put in investment income, okay? And from investment income, guys, there's 2 types of income you can get from investment incomes, but there's 3 types of investments you want to make. So A is going to be your capital gains. Okay, your capital gains, that's the profits that's coming in off of your investments. Okay. Your dividends, okay, when you invest, those are your dividends. That's for B. You're going to write in dividends for B. And then for C, we're talking about yourself. You write in self, meaning invest into yourself. There's no better investment than investing into yourself. Okay, but I want to talk to you guys really quick, and I promise I'm going to get you guys out of here because I know y'all ready to eat. But I want to talk to you a little bit about investing. Okay, now that you know a little bit about taxes, inflation, debt, big businesses, right? You know about the challenges. Let me talk to you guys about investing, because investing is the purest formula of how you create wealth. I'm going to tell you an example. I was sitting down with Mr. Brian Bean, 7-figure earner who made his first million at 21. And he said, listen, I can show you. I remember when he told me, he said, listen, I can show you how to become a millionaire by retirement without selling or recruiting anyone. I said, explain. Because I really wanted to pick his brain, right? He said, listen, how old are you? I said, 34. He said, listen, if you invest $265 a month into an investment portfolio, and your investment was bringing you back 12% interest, by the time you were 65, you would be a millionaire. I said, how is that? He said, listen, $265 for the next 31 years comes out to a total of $97,000. $97,000. But because your money was gaining interest, 12% interest, the entire 31 years, your $97,000 would have turned into $1 million. See, when he told me that, guys, my mentality completely changed. Because, see, I'm someone who builds businesses, and my philosophy was always make more money, work harder, make more money, build more businesses, make more money. But then I had to really step back and say, hold on. I mean, yeah, I'm making money, but I can't get wealthy off of this. See, he showed me how to use my money and invest it and make my money start working. Guys, the realization is the average person between the ages of 18 and 65 will make $1 million. The question is, what would the million do for you? Because the banks are going to get rich off of it. The place where you're getting your car from is going to get rich off of it. The credit card people are going to get rich off of it. The people who own your house, you're buying the house from, they're going to get rich off of it, right? What is the million going to do for you? That's the question, guys. So it's very, very important to understand investing. People say, what is investing? Well, you know, the same way that you went to open up a bank account with a bank, well, that's the exact same thing you do to invest. You open up an account. But see, here's the deal. A bank will let you open up an account for 25 bucks. Why? Because they want your money to create wealth. See, to open up an investment account, it might cost you $1,500, $2,000. You might have, you need to have some income to open one. Why? Because wealthy people really don't want you to participate in what they're doing. That's why it costs to open up an account. But see, if you follow the instructions we're giving you guys on taxes, debt, and inflation, you'll be able to have cash flow to be able to open up your investment account. Do you know right now, guys, I'm going to blow your mind with something. How many people we have in the building right now that's 45 or older? 45 or older. If you're 45, raise your hand older. 45 or older. Now let me give you this. Let me tell you this. Anybody have at your home has cable? If you have cable, raise your hand up. If you've had cable for over 20 years, raise your hand up. Cable over 20 years? 15 years? Yeah. Recently getting cable. How long have you had cable? Man with the shirt on right behind you, Mr. Dawkins. How long have you had cable?
About 12 years.
About 12 years. Now here's the deal, guys. Listen. We teach people money strategies on how to get wealthy. Do you understand that if you eliminated your cable and that money was strictly going into an investment portfolio and all you was doing was putting that extra money into an investment account, do you know over the next 25, 30 years that you would be a multimillionaire?
No, but it sounds good to me.
See, because your money will be working. How many of us have kids in the room that's under the age of 8, 9, 10? Grandkids. Any grandkids back there? Okay, we got some grandkids. Okay, let me give you an example. Let me show you this. Anyone heard of a gentleman by the name of Warren Buffett?
Yeah.
He's a billionaire, right?
Yeah.
Now, here's the deal. Guess what age he started investing? Any guess? Take a wild guess. Shoot a number out there, somebody.
Somebody said 8.
You know, who said 8?
50.
Back there, listen, you're going to be a lucky woman. I'm telling you right now, God had his hands on you. Mr. Warren Buffett started investing at the age of 7 years old, guys. 7. See, the thing with investment, guys, is that it takes what you call cycles. Every 10 years, the money starts to compound and get bigger. So you need a good 20 or 30 years for the small money to really start to explode. He started at 7. Most of us never even hear this information until we're 40 plus. You see? So we're already behind. But just imagine your kids. Imagine your nieces and your nephews. See, most of us have the wrong philosophy. See, we want to buy the kids something that's worth $1,000. We want to spend $500 on some toys and a party with the cakes and everything. Guys, do you realize if you had a niece or a nephew or a child that's 5 years old, 7 years old, do you know if you took $1,000 and put it into an investment account and said that they could not touch it until they were 35 years old, 30 years old, do you know that they will already have hundreds of thousands? They would possibly be a multimillionaire if you just took $1,000, $1,500, maybe $2,000, sat it in there and never even touched it. I'm not saying continue to put money in it. I'm saying if you just put $2,000 in for a child that's 4 or 5 years old and never touched it, the money will compound into hundreds of thousands of dollars. You see? So we want to teach you guys this stuff because this is the importance. If you can reach out to a friend, a family, a loved one and educate them with this information, God, this is how you get the blessings. We got to impact lives, guys. We have to not only impact you guys' lives, but we got to reach out and impact other people's lives. So we want to continue to do this with the pastors, guys. We're going to be coming in and doing some other live streams. We're going to do this again. We're expecting this small organization right here, select few people, we want to get your information. I know Mr. Dawkins has your information. I'm looking forward to maybe, speaking to you guys directly over the phone, getting some more information in front of you guys, and then also being able to do this again and having some more members come out from the church so we can start a journey, guys, because we want to provide some training for you guys. So we're not going to hold you guys, but thank you so much, guys. If you're interested, definitely get with Ramon Dawkins or Ezekiel, and we'll show you what you need to do, guys, to get your business started. Your business, to get your home-based business started, is only $179, guys. Only $179. We spent that on TVs. We spent it on cable. We spent it on late fees. We spent it on food at the restaurant. We've spent $179 on a lot of different things, okay? Just remember this before I let you guys go. Your life is in 2 columns. It's very simple. Assets and liabilities. Liabilities are things that you put money in that bring you no return on your investment. Assets are things that you put your money in that actually makes your $1 turn into 5, your 5 turn into 20, your 20 turn into 100. So you want to think about it. How many liabilities do you have? How many assets do you have? Most people don't understand the difference. Most people think, hey, my house is an asset. Your house is not an asset. The only way your house is an asset is if you have the home and you're renting the home out to someone else who's living in the home, paying for the home for you, and you're taking that income and buying another house with it. That's a house that's an asset, right? Everything else is a liability. So your home-based business, $179, guys, get yourself started. We teach you how to get your tax breaks, start to write off your lifestyle, get you out of debt, get you some cash flow positive so you can start investing not only into your future, but your future generations, guys. So thank you so much. That's my time. Do we have any questions before we leave? Any questions at all?
No.
Yeah, I have a question. What will that 179 do immediately? What can I do immediately from what you?
Right. Well, if you do the 179, guys, and open your business, if you do work a job, we show you what we call strategy 1. Strategy number 1 we teach. And remember, if you don't have a job, don't think about yourself, guys. Think about the people you know. One of the most wealthy philosophies is if you're not where you want to be in life, it's because you haven't helped enough people get to where they want to be. So I want you to think about this. I want you to think about all the people who work a job. When you open your home-based business for $179, the first thing you're able to do is go back to your job and refill out your W-4 form. When you fill out your W-4 form, revisit your W-4 form, and we teach you how to fill it out, all of a sudden the money that they're taking from you in taxes from your job, they give you that income back. So let's say they're taking out $500 a month for you in taxes. You got 2 kids, all these things going on. Guys, how would you like to be able to open a business for $179, go back, adjust your W-4 form, and all of a sudden you're getting back an extra $400 a month? Back from your own money. You're getting your own money back, right? And then we teach you how to take that and apply it to your debt. So let me give you a quick example. let's say for instance you have a car note. Car note is $350 a month. You're paying $350 a month. Maybe you still have another 3 years on the car. Well, when you go back and adjust your W-4 form, let's say they release an extra, let's just say $300 a month. See, you're going to take that $300 and apply it to the $350 you're paying on the car note. Now you're paying $650. You see? So what happens is you had a car note that was extended out for 3 years. Now you can lapse time frames. Now the car is paid off in, 14 months versus 3 years. What did you do? Number one, you collapse time frames now versus 3 years going by and you're still paying a car note. Now you're like, hey, here it is 14 months later. My car's paid off. Not only that, but what did you do? You saved yourself on the interest that the car was going to cost you. Because most people have bad credit, so how much is the interest on the car? 18%, right? Well, and let's say you buying the car for $20,000. Well, if you pay it off the way they have it structured, 3 or 4 years, not only will you pay the 20, but you'll pay 18% of 20,000, which is another $3,000 or $4,000 just in interest. But by you using the strategy we taught you, you collapsed it down to, a year, 14 months in that example that I just gave you. So you eliminated the interest, plus now you have your car note money back in your pocket. So you have the $350 back in your pocket, and you have the W-4 adjustment money back in your pocket, which means now you have $650 of positive cash flow a year from now. You see? Now what do you do with that? Well, let's say for instance you have 2 credit cards. Let's say for instance the credit card is, you got 2 credit cards and it's $2,000. Now you take the $650, you put it on the credit cards. In 3 months, now the credit cards is paid off. Now you're looking up and saying, hey, it's only been a year and a half, and I paid the car off and 2 credit cards. I have no more debts. So now you're looking up a year and a half from now saying, listen, I'm completely debt free. My car's paid off. My credit card's paid off. Guess what you're going to do now? Now you have the car note money, which is $350. You have the W-4 money, which is another $300, which is $650. Plus you have the minimum payments that you were paying on the credit cards. Now you have that back in your pocket. So now you have probably about another $750 of positive cash flow that you don't have to put on debt. So what you do with that money at that point is you open up an investment account and you say, you know what? This $750 a month is going to start going into an investment account. Right. See, remember when I told you guys that if I invest $250 for the next 31 years, I would be a millionaire? Just imagine, with that little strategy I just showed you, how you can have an extra $750 a month of positive cash flow going into an investment account. So if you're investing $700 a month into an investment account because you've eliminated all your debts and you have positive cash flow, what kind of money do you think you'll have 10, 15 years from now just by strictly using that strategy I just showed you guys? You will create a fortune. And that's what we want to do with you guys. So 179 starts your business, and it puts you on track to start this, guys. And we have software that teaches you guys how to actually keep up with all your business expenses as well too. So we can talk about it more as well too later at another time for anyone that's interested.
I have a question.
Okay.
My question is if
I probably can't hear you.
It's
not working.
Oh, it's not working?
No, I can hear him.
Oh, you hear him? Okay.
My question is, the 179, what type of home-based business does that 179 opens up?
Very, very good question. Your 179, when you invest your 179 into your home-based business, your business is going to be what we call like a financial, you're going to be in the financial service industry, just like a Mr. Ramon Dawkins, just like in Ezekiel. When they invested their 179, they became a part of the financial service industry. So at that time, your business would be to join forces with us and to continue to empower and educate other people like yourself who needs to have this information. And as we impact lives, as we eliminate debt, because people are joining forces with us and opening their home-based business, learning about taxes, debt, and inflation, and how to invest, for every 7 referrals, you're going to make $1,000. Well, actually, for every 7 referrals, you're going to make about $1,350. To be, $1,000 is just one of the bonuses. Just pretty much for every 7 referrals you bring in, you'll make $1,350. Okay? So your business would be this deal here where we're educating people, which I think is very, very important to do. So, you know, if you're interested, definitely let's get it done, and I can teach you more about how to tap into those bonuses and start writing off your lifestyle. Any other questions?
Yes.
Okay.
You know, with that question, I mean, to piggyback off that same question, is there a monthly service fee to go along with that home-based business?
Yes, there is. Your monthly fee to run your business for the software that we give you is $29 a month. So roughly you're looking at probably about $50 a month to run your business. And once again, guys, we want you to understand this. You want to have business expenses. I'm going to tell you why. See, if you're working a job, remember the job is taxing you for all the money you do make. But see, in this philosophy, you're going to have a business now. So they're giving you your money. So you want to show, hey, you're giving me my money because I have a business and I have things I need to write off. So for example, the $179, the $50 a month will be tax deductible at the end of the year. And that's something that you'll definitely show the government that, hey, you know, I'm paying $50 a month for my software. Now, the question you asked regarding what are you going to get for that $50 a month? You're going to get, man, an amazing software, right? When we start talking about writing off your lifestyle, let me see if I can, I think my phone is dead, guys. I don't think I can give you an example. But on your phone, Mr. Dawkins, I don't know if you could show him kind of, you're going to have a software that's going to be on your computer or your phone that's going to keep track of all your business expenses for the year. So you're paying, what you're paying for with the $50 a month is for software that's going to keep your business in order. So at the end of the year, when it's time for you to pay your taxes, you're not looking for receipts. You're not saying, what were my business expenses? Everything can happen from the touch of your phone, you know. So for example, I think my phone is dying, but Mr. Ramon Dawkins, if you could show him your phone.
Zeke is doing it right now.
Right, Zeke is probably doing it right now. I don't know if you guys can see this on the TV or not. I mean, on the screen or not. It's kind of blurry here. But you'll see on the screen here, it says Cash Flow Manager. And this is what you'll be pretty much paying for, is a software that runs from your phone to your computer, okay? And what it does is it keeps track of all of your business expenses. So, for example, if you see here where it says Cash Flow Manager, let's say, for instance, I'm at a restaurant. And I'm at a restaurant, let's say I'm at the restaurant with my beautiful lady, right? Now we're eating because we're hungry, and I just really wanted to take her out because it was just a nice thing to do. But while I was out, I said, you know what? I'm going to treat this like my business. So when we sat down and ate a nice little steak or whatever it may be, we talked a little bit about business. So now that meal that I spent, right, the $50 I spent on the meal is a tax write-off. So I can go to my phone, click Cash Flow Manager. I could select like this, guys, on the Cash Flow Manager, and I can go to one of my businesses. Let's say this is my econ business, right? And I can go click on Capture Receipt, right? And all I have to do, you see here, I don't know if y'all guys can either see from that phone or from this screen here, you'll see 4 options here, right? Where it tells you enter income, enter expense, capture receipt, or log mileage. Okay, so I can either capture the receipt, so when the waiter comes and brings me my bill, I can say capture receipt. I can take a picture of the receipt, and guess what? I'm done with the receipt. I don't have to keep up with the receipt at the end of the year. I don't have to put envelope, take my receipts and put them in an envelope and try to do all of that. All of it is tracked into the software that you are paying for. And guess what? At the end of the year, all I have to do is log into my back office and email this out to my CPA or print it out, and it'll show up in like a spreadsheet form. Okay, nice and organized, all your business expenses. So you can give it to your CPA and say, here's my business expenses. So when your CPA looks at all of your expenses, they can factor that in with all of your tax breaks before, you know, the government tax you. So this is what you're actually paying for, your software that keeps you in track and keeps you in order. So that was a good question. But yeah, this software also, we have a quick video on it as well too. You know, Mr. Ramon, hey, at the bottom of that sheet, guys, I think on the bottom of the sheet, if he's printed out the entire sheet, you should see a website down there called extradigitmovement.com. Do y'all see that at the bottom of the sheet? extradigitmovement.com. Is that on the bottom of the sheet?
It is,
Yes.
it is.
Okay. On that sheet, guys, when you get home or you get around Wi-Fi or the computer, type in that website, okay? Type in that website, and I want you guys to go to software demo, and it'll kind of explain the demo of how the software works, where you can see the actual software and how it works, okay?
Amen.
Any other questions?
No.
Anything else?
Any questions? No, we're done, Chad.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much. It was an honor speaking with you guys. I look forward to actually speaking with the next audience that we do have coming in the near future, guys. Go out there, get this thing done, be successful, guys. We want to help you guys. So enjoy the rest of your day, guys, and God bless you. And I pray that God opens the windows of heaven and pour on his blessings onto you and your family. So been my time, guys. You've been great. And go out there and get this thing done, guys. Hey, who's cutie pie is that?
Say hi. I'm Gigi.
Hi, Gigi.
That's
Hi.
Gigi.
Hi, Gigi.
Hi.
She's adorable. She is absolutely adorable. Millionaire in the making. We're going to get that investment account set up for her. She doesn't even know it yet.
No. All right. I'll talk to you later. Thanks for your time. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, Jack.
All right, guys. Thank you so much, guys, and have a blessed day.
You too.
You too.
Bye-bye.